Hello, beautiful people. Um, just a short video from me, like I said in my last post. Um, First of all, I'm sorry for the sound of my voice. My throat is a bit funny. Maybe it's because there is a lot to say about a certain subject. But first, before I do that, thanks everybody who sent me birthday wishes. Yesterday, I like to say it. I reached level 44 and of this game of life, and it was a very nice day, and I felt very festive, and it was very nice. Um, the other thing, so thank you very much for all the best wishes, and uh, yes. It's the other thing. I want to say a couple of things. There is a lot of uh like a tornado again through adoption is going through adoption land, which is actually, well, the stories behind it obviously are very, very horrific and uh, awful, more than awful that it could ever have happened like that. But um, there is a program in the Netherlands, and it's called their Spoorloos, without a trace, in English, and it's yeah, it's like entertainment about a person who is adopted and want to search for uh, his her roots, and the front man of the program, Derek Bolt, is then visiting the country of birth and tries, well, to find connections there, and to get more information. Uh, okay, so that's that. A few days actually before my birthday, so it's a present. It was an early present. In another TV show, Yinek was a woman from Colombia who was adopted from there. And she actually was in the program Spoorloos, Without Trace. And yeah, she fought and believed for 24 years that she was connected and matched with a Colombian family, which was her roots family, and turns out that that was all a lie. Turns out that Spoorloos, Without a Trace, knew that, and also the so-called family of this woman knew she was not family. Um, so obviously, for money and other winning situation for the other side, they continued this lie for 24 years. Um, Spoorloos just started using DNA uh, as a comparison tool in 2019, which is pretty late. Also, if you take in consideration that back then there wasn't a whole big thing or again about adoptions, and that a lot of them were illegal, so which are child trafficking cases. So yes. So if you take also that in consideration, it's very uh, odd that you don't already use DNA. But okay, so that's a good question to answer for the team of Spoorloos Without a Trace, because in April there will be a case against them, and the whole team of Spoorloos Without a Trace, but especially Dirk Bolt, will be heard via hearing, and I think this is an important question. Why you started in 2019 with DNA, while it's not a difficult system. It's not it doesn't cost a lot, uh, and it was available already way before that. So why not use it? Um, and Yeah, so this woman was now helped by another Colombian group from the Netherlands who assists people with their search, and um, use DNA kits, and the advantage of the existence of that. And within 3 weeks, they found um, her Colombian family. And in 2010 and 2012, her mother and father there died, um, which makes it more horrific because back then already you could have known it by using DNA. So yeah, with all the other knowledge now in existence about adoption and all of the horrific things going on in that world, which is mostly child trafficking, and that the system is just uh, so sensitive for to perverse incentives. So it's perverse prikkels. So it's very obvious for years now you can't continue with the system, and in the same line with that, you can't continue with a television show like this. And the response of the frontman of the program, Derek Bolt, is so arrogant and so horrific. And that I'm not going to repeat what he said. You can see it on the internet, and I will on Facebook place links to Yinek and another program who talked about this case. Um, and it's it's um it's also, it's also my story. I wasn't in Spoorloos Without a Trace, but I had the same story with my Dutch family, and they just they just picked a family and paid them to pretend to be my family. And I'm so happy that I felt that this wasn't right, and so I didn't make the same efforts as this woman did with her so-called family. Um, but uh, so I didn't invest it in contacts and sending money and whatnot. And my birth mother was already dead, and stuff like that. So you know. And I know now, I just know that that was a lie. And yeah, it's the ease with how people can lie and play with you like this. It's amazingly horrific. And but I do see this as steps in the right direction. I think this is a very important thing to come to become public. If I have to say something to the dog. Bravo. Hey, bravo. Stop. 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 And um, it's he has a little wound and he must stop touching. It's difficult for the dog, for our dog. Okay, so what I find good things about this is that there are now more platforms for people like me to tell our story. There's more understanding now of what went wrong all those decades and why the system has to stop. Uh, it must come to an halt, and entertainment programs like this have to stop as well. And I think that it must be investigated really good this time, and that the whole team of Spoorloos, without a trace, um, must take their responsibility. So I'm very curious, because the woman in particularly I'm talking about now, the young, yeah, the woman from Colombia. Uh, so she has now found for certain the right people. But it must be so difficult to to make the switch and to trust again, and to start a whole process again. It's Yeah. So legally it's also interesting because the human rights lawyer's office from Amsterdam, which took these cases, um, are not mentioned anywhere anymore. Um, so I suspect that too many people now know that this office has played a very peculiar role in this whole story, also of legal cases of illegal adopted persons, um, because this office was also one of the founders of um, uh, het Haags Verdrag. So the Hague Convention. And the Hague Convention, is, to put it short, is a legalization of child trafficking, and to keep that possible. And it's so open to ja, perverse prikkels. Ik moet het even opzoeken in het Engels. Perverse incentives. Yeah. So, and to time has proven now that there's no solution to get those to get the system like working like that, without without those perverse incentives. So it's, it's, um, it has been proven with all the changes they made for the laws, rules in this whole thing, that it just leaves the door. It always has left the door open to child trafficking because it was meant to. And um, I think stories like these and from others, it's so important. And I think it's also very important that this particularly uh, lawyer's office doesn't, well, as it seems for now anyways, doesn't take those cases anymore, because they were also the founders um, of the Hague Convention. So, which made it and kept it all possible to happen. So it's so wrong that they would represent us in legal cases against the state of the Netherlands, which does not exist, but that's a different story. So it's a mess, but I do think that with every story coming out and taking also legal steps is so important, for us all as a whole, uh, of in the adoption community. Um, so I'm also very curious what's going to happen. There will be a hearing in April. There are a lot of big cases in April. Ines Wesky, her case continues also in April, the 10th of April. Um, but okay, it's um, it's time to admit, as a country who has such a large role in the whole children's story in the world, the Netherlands. It's so important now that it stops there. It's starting to stop there. The possibility of adoption slash human trafficking, child trafficking. It's connected, and it was designed to be connected. And excuse me. And I think, yeah, it's very important to stop also with entertainment around it, like the program Spoorloos, Without a Trace. I've always hated it. It was um, and now with this coming out, they Caro and CRV, the broadcasting network, had already had to say, with also others who came with the same thing, we have to end this program because we have to investigate this. And we can't continue making the show. Like I said, the response of Derek Bolt, uh, it doesn't surprise me anymore, but it's sickening. It makes me sick. Um, and it's it's time that the whole team of Spoorloos, Without a Trace, taking responsibility and come to uh, a good settlement solution with this woman, but also with the others with the same story. And the same goes for the state of the Netherlands. And I mean, I think every case like this is also a step uh, closer for a lot of information for all of us in the adoption community. So it's very important that it continues, and every story makes everything raw again, and it hurts, and but at the same time there is something happening, and it will lead to a good outcome. And we have the right for all the information that is left, and for all the databases who has been destroyed, but obviously all the information must be also somewhere, and this is the age of digital shit, so it's always somewhere. And I truly feel and believe and think it's time that everything will come to light, and also the connection of the Hague Convention and uh, child trafficking, and also cases from which make it possible, like the toeslagen affair in the Netherlands, and where the state has kidnapped children from their parents, and God knows what they did to it. We already know that that a lot of children didn't make it. They have died. Why? How? Where? Okay. And where's the rest? Where are they? And this is not about just a couple of hundred or a couple of this are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. If you it's if you would see them all, uh, yeah, I think everybody, every soul, living soul, would cry their eyes out. So many missing children, so many parents in distress and not knowing where the children are, or um, women who were used just to only breed children in baby factories and stuff, shit like that. And the more comes to light, the better it is for everyone. And it's the child trafficking is just a small piece of the and there's a lot behind of that, and that's the so but it has to start somewhere. And this is a very huge epidemic, horrific thing raging through the earth. And I have a huge admiration and respect uh, for people like this woman from Colombia, telling their story and make it more understandable for people to understand that adoption is not how it's represented, how it has been represented to us for all those years. And the dark side of it comes into the light now, and it's very important. And I'm very grateful and thankful for those people doing that, and for the strength to do it, because it takes a lot of energy. It's very it's painful to talk about, and it goes so deep, and the hurt is so immense. And and I think that works both ways, because as we know now, um, a lot of us are searching, but on the other side, our families are reaching out and searching more and more as well. So um, yeah, so and then it's for me, it's not only to be connected with them again in the flesh. It's the most important thing, of course, but also all the information around it, around all of the shit, is also very important, and it's our right to know it. It's our information. It's about us, and um, and we will we will get it. I think this was it. It's, of course, subject is close to my heart, and it's in my heart, and but I think it's important to look beyond the horrific side of it. Of course, it is. Um, but these are important steps, and steps like this human rights lawyer's office from Amsterdam is not involved in the case anyway of this woman, and also of another woman I spoke about a couple of months ago now, I think. It's those changes are important. You can't be represented in court um, by the firm who also helped to create the problem we are dealing with. So it's good that that has been turned around, and I will follow that. Also, if that's going to stay that way, I mean, that off lawyers' offers have to. It's logic that they're out, and it's good news. But I want to make sure that it stays that way. So I keep an eye on that, and I think a lot of people do, and I think there are so many people now who begin to understand more about it. So it's obvious, very insane that they could have represented people like me. Also, I felt for the whole human rights lawyer thing, like a lot of people. If you hear that then, but yeah, things have changed, and people do their research, and yes, I think it's when you know that that office, lawyer's office, yeah, was has created uh, was part of the creation of this whole problem, then yes, then it's obvious that they're not representing us anymore. So that's to me, that's a good sign. So let's see what happens next, and I'll keep you updated about it if there's something new, of course. And for now, I want to thank you all for watching, and and again for all the birthday wishes. Thank you, and yeah, I'll keep you updated about it. Have a lovely day, everybody, and ciao ciao, bye bye.